So whenever we deal with the natural base E, you're just going to use E as it is. Don't, like I said, don't approximate. Don't treat it like 3.14 like you do with pi. Okay, just use the E value. Normally it'll be like E with the little x power, so you can kind of go from there. Biggest thing we use with compound interest, or with E, is compound interest. So you have two different types. You have one with compounding periods. Okay, so again, this really isn't anything new. P is always your principal. Okay, not Dr. Adams. Okay, different kind of principal. Not Mr. McNorman. Again, different kind of principal. It's basically your starting initial amount. So then you have your R, which is your rate. You will probably have to change to a decimal. Okay, remember, whenever we change it to a decimal, we have to move it back 2 places, move the decimal place back 2 places. So depending on the value that you're given. The N, okay, N is usually only going to be, or N is only going to be used when we are dealing with compound periods or compound interest, not continuously. Okay, continuously is going to be in a minute. Okay, that's going to deal with the natural base E. So N is the number of times we compound per year. So like if it is semi-annually, okay, that would be twice a year. If it's monthly, that's 12 times a year. If it's weekly, 52 weeks out of the year. If it's daily, 365 days. Things like that. Okay? Bi-monthly, whatever. Okay? It's how many times it's going to happen per year. So knowing that there's 365 days in the year, that there are 52 weeks in a year, that there's 12 months in a year. Okay? Things like that. And then the last one is going to be T. That is just the number of years. Okay. Whenever you do it continuously, and again, the difference between knowing if it's continuously or if it's compounded, it will say continuously. Okay? It will use the word continuously. Then you know that I need to use this specific equation or formula. If it doesn't say continuously, then you should have basically all 4 of those parts. Continuously, you're not going to have N. You're going to have everything else, but you will not have N. Okay? This is the one, basically, if it doesn't say anything about the number of times per year, if it doesn't say monthly, it doesn't say weekly, okay, then it's most likely going to be continuously, okay, or something went wrong. So those are the 4 parts you need. If it doesn't say anything about the number of times per year, okay, then it's most likely going to be continuously, and it will have the word continuously in the problem. Okay, that is your key tip-off that, hey, I need to use the continuously compounded interest formula. Okay, so everything else. So then, in this case, it says you decide to invest $8,000, 6 years. You have the choice between 2 accounts. The first one pays 7% interest, compounded monthly. Second one pays 6.85% per year, compounded continuously. Which investment is better? So you have, basically you have plan A, all right? With plan A, your principal in both of these is still $8,000. Okay, that's not going to be any different from plan A to plan B. So you still have the 8 grand. Is plan A going to be continuously or is it compounded? Does it have a specific time in like your first plan or plan A? It's monthly, right? So 7%, 6 years on both, compounded monthly. So then in terms of, we have our rate, we have our N, and we have our time. Okay, again, both of these are going to be 6 years. That doesn't change. So our time here is 6. Our rate for the first one, 7%, which we have to change to a decimal, so 0.07. If it is compounded monthly, how many times per year? 12. 12 months in a year. Okay, so then in terms of this, I'm just going to plug it into my formula. I'm going to have my principal, I'm going to have $8,000 times 1 plus 0.07 over 12, so 0.7 over 12, all to the n times t power, right? So 7 times 12, or excuse me, 6 times 12. So what I would suggest whenever you do this is do this part first and leave it in your calculator and then take it to your power. So if I was you, I would take the 1 or the 0.07 and divide that by 12 first and kind of just leave everything in there as I go. So, and just kind of, and I'm going to get out of this for a second and go here with the calculator. What I would suggest is taking the 0.07, dividing it by 12, leaving everything in there as I go and go plus 1. 6 times 12 was 72, right? So take that to the 72nd power and then multiply it by our original investment, which was $8,000. Okay? Doing it this way doesn't, you don't have to type it in and kind of make sure you have all the so then what, $12,160.84. So A was 12,000. What was the value? 12,000 what? And then how many cents? 84 cents. Do the same thing with B. So with plan B, I don't have an N, so it's just A equals the principal times E to the rate times time power. So in this case, principal was still the $8,000. My rate is now 0.0685. and then my time is still over 6 years. So then 8,000 times e to the 0.685 times 6 power. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit different as far as the order in which I need to do it. Because I have a power, I'm going to have to take e to a power. Okay.
Is it 0.068?
Oh yes, 0.068. Thank you. My fault. So then whenever I do this, whenever I go to my calculator, if you have a graphing calculator, your E value, okay, you've got a couple different options. The option that I would take is going to be E, and then where it says the natural log. So there's like an E to the X power. You hit that and it will automatically, or it'll give you the fraction or the power. So what I would suggest is opening up with a parenthesis, take the 0.0685 times the 6 years, and then close it. Okay, get my number, and then multiply it by my $8,000 investment. So I'm looking at $12,066.60. So between my two values, I'm just going to have them both on the screen. Here's one, there's A, there's B. Which plan's better to use? Which one should you use? Plan A. So remember, this is all about making money, like you're investing it, putting it into some sort of account that's going to draw interest. So it's not one of those that you're paying into, or it's not like you're buying a car. It's like you're taking that money and trying to make more money out of it.